Hello there, I'm a freshman boy, and this is a sustainable phone. It is sustainable for several reasons. It can be charged with green energy and also removes the needs for paper textbooks. And most importantly, it can be recycled. By recycling first world countries' phones, once they become obsolete, resources can be conserved. Normally, a phone once outdated would be thrown away, but using this recycling program, this phone can be a luxury for those living in less privileged countries. By doing this, not only are people provided with cheap functional phones, but resources are conserved by reusing this, as opposed to throwing it away and making a new one, thus making phones very sustainable. Here is Max, who's going to talk about how the program works.
Through this program, we will buy your phone for a cheap price. And after we've collected 1 million phones, this can save up to 250 pounds of silver, 50 pounds of gold, and 20,000 tons of copper. By conserving these resources, we will make it so much less has to be mined and there's less of an impact on the environment. But only 11% of mobile devices are actually recycled. This leads to 142,000 mobile devices being thrown away every day. And if we were to decrease the number of devices thrown away and increase recycling rates up to 20 or 25%, tens of thousands of tons of resources could be saved each year, along with billions of dollars. By doing this, not only will the economy benefit, and it will be improved due to the fact that we have to spend less money on mobile devices, but the environment will benefit as well as there's less mining, which leads to more sustainable practices with mobile devices, which makes phones sustainable. Here's Chaitu to talk about how phones can also remove the need for paper.
By using phones, we can remove the use for using paper. And one example of this is using an online textbook. So in Apes, for example, we use the online textbook, so we don't use the paper. And this will remove the need for cutting down trees. And by not cutting down trees, it will stop a lot of carbon dioxide from going into the atmosphere, as well as saving a lot of needed habitat for species using these trees. And now Max will talk about how we can use phones, how phones use green energy to charge.
As you may know, phones need electricity to be useful. And this can be one of the downsides of using phones, as sometimes when electricity is produced, it can impact the environment. For example, when using coal or oil or a non-renewable resource to create electricity, it can have an impact on the environment in emissions or production costs or construction costs when you create the plant. But if one were to use green energy to charge a phone, the impact of phones on the environment would lessen. For example, if someone were to install solar panels on their house and use that to charge their house and all of their outlets, when you charge your phone, it would be charging green energy and have less of an impact on the environment. Or if someone weren't to install solar panels, but they instead bought clean energy from the grid, that would also lessen the impact of phones on the environment and make them much more sustainable. Now here's Chaitu to summarize our point and show why phones are so sustainable.
So in conclusion, we can see that phones are indeed very sustainable, and we see this in 3 points. Number one, we can recover a lot of materials from the phones through recycling them, and two, they save a lot of paper, which prevents us, or which stops the cutting of trees, and three, using green energy to charge phones will increase sustainability by a lot.